It is time once again for the weekly closes on our favorite Bitcoin miners. But before we get going, check out the Trade Cave channel memberships. We've got 3 levels here: Soda Straw, Stalactite, and Stalagmite. This one's so much more expensive because I'll be doing real-time trade posts when I make trades, as well as shorts explaining the reasoning behind those trades. The other 2, Soda Straw, you will get some emojis and badges. Stalactite, you get the emojis, the badges, and a member shout out. That's more like if you just want to give a little more to the channel for the Stalactite there. The Soda Straw is really just, again, wanting to give something to the channel. Stalagmite is really where you get something back for that membership. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and look at also Capital Curiosities. They've got a new video coming out tomorrow. That's about Martha Stewart and how her insider trading, how she got caught for that. They do financial fraud stories. It's very interesting. I've been enjoying all of their videos so far. Go ahead and give them a view. And if you find yourself on one of their videos after a Trade Cave video, go ahead and comment TC on the video. I would greatly appreciate that. Let's get right into this now. All right, weekly closes. We're looking at CleanSpark. This looks really good, actually. So for the week, we're up 18.44%. If we go and look on the right side here, we have this big volume gap. We failed to get into this gap before, but if we can do it now, we can move very quickly up to $15, $16. And can you just imagine what that would be like for the warrants if we rocketed up to $16 inside of a week? And it can happen in the next 2 weeks. July, the first 2 weeks of July generally are the most bullish weeks of the year, so it could be coming through here. If we don't get this by the first half of the second week of August, then it's not happening this summer, and we are going to be waiting until November to see any significant movement out of the Bitcoin miners. Keep that in mind. It is go time right now. If we cannot make it, if we cannot hold it, it will not happen until Q4. So be aware of that. And of course, nothing I say is financial advice and not a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. Simply my thoughts, my ideas about these charts. Always do your own research, come to your own conclusions, and be responsible for your own risk when investing. All right, CleanSpark. Let's see what else. Let's bring on my drawings here in a second. So RSI actually is in a good spot. We're above 50 on the weekly. That's great. The BX trender is printing a higher high. Beautiful. This the on balance volume is showing green here. I like that as well. This is all looking pretty good for CleanSpark. Let's take a look at my drawings here. Let's see. Yeah, basically we just have this yellow line to contend with. We get through this yellow line, we're probably going to fill out this inverted head and shoulders we've been looking at for a really long time, which is right here. We'll fill that out and find ourselves back up at about $16 very, very quickly. Once we cross this yellow line there, we're getting very close to doing the neckline on this inverted head and shoulders, and that's going to be a really nice move if it actually holds it. That'll be pretty exciting. Let's look at the warrants real quick. On the weekly, there's not much to look at for them, but whoops. On the weekly, there's not much to look for them, but we are doing a bit of a bull flag. If we can cross this peak here at 56 cents, we will probably quickly find ourselves up at the next fib level, which in this case would be, next fib level would be about 63 cents. If we hit the extension on the current move, we'd be looking at about 72 cents for CleanSpark warrants here, if we can get a nice move up on CleanSpark itself. Let's take a look at Mara. How is Mara doing? Not as well as CleanSpark. It's up 4.96% this week. However, the BX trender is printing a higher high. The RSI is at neutral. It's trying to go higher, and the on balance volume is green. So those things are all looking pretty good. I do like this indicator. So I got 2 unbalanced oscillators down here. I got one here, which is that thick green line and that blue line, and then I got one where you control on the left here, which is the orange and white. Basically, it's the same oscillator, but it's a different viewpoint for that oscillator. I like having both. I decided I like having both for now. You know me, I'm always experimenting with them. Anyways, we are still in this bull flag right here for Mara. We need to break out of that thing. We haven't broken out of it yet. When we do break out of it, though, we could see a potential move, a very explosive move, potentially up into the high 20s. Let me bring that back, and we'll go here, maybe even low 30s. Let's see, about 25. So we'll hit about $25, mid 20s. $25. But if we get into the mid 20s, what's to stop us from getting to the center of this big ascending channel again? Here, nothing. That's what Nothing's stopping us. So we'll see what happens when we get there. These levels tend to be magnetic, so I wouldn't be surprised that if we got in here, we'd move up quickly up to like 27, 28 on Mara. Let's see here. What do we have here? Yeah, we got a channel here that we've been in for a while. That channel, we got to break this channel. We got to break it to the upside. We're going to hit this one here at 21, 22. We'll probably struggle there, and then we'll find ourselves up at like 25, 26, maybe even up to $30 on Mara once that starts to happen. All right. It's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. Iren. Iren's been moving up very nicely. Look at that. 33% this week. Beautiful. I had a couple of calls on there. I did make some money on that. That was very nice. I'm feeling pretty happy about this. This falling wedge really paid out. So this one's done here. We broke above the upper edge of this channel here. This channel's done. It's broken out of. We have to drill down to see where that support is. Honestly, I'd say support's probably about 1130 or so. I do think Iren, I don't know. It seems like Iren's going to keep running. There's got to be some kind of news. There hasn't been any news yet on Iren. So I'm assuming this has to do with CoreWeave vying to take to purchase Corz and Core Scientific, and if that is the case, people might be speculating that Iren is next on the docket for them to try to acquire. So we'll be looking at that very closely. About 33%. Let me know if you have been following this like I have, and if you've been making money with each one of these pops like I have. Iren's been just printing money. It's been great, and it looks poised to continue. Honestly, it currently looks poised to continue. On the weekly here, the BX trend is making higher highs. The RSI is not overbought yet, and we got the on balance volume still showing green. If we drill down to the daily, let's see what happened on the daily today. Let's see if there's anything we can see here. Yeah, so we could potentially see a move back to like 1130 for support, maybe even as deep as 1063 for support if we were to fall. But we are making our third angle here. So we had, one angle, two angle. Angle 2 is this white one here, and I'll draw one real quick. I'll draw angle 1, and I'll draw angle 3. Angle 1, angle 2, now we're on angle 3. When angle 3 breaks, we will come all the way back down to angle 2. So let's go here. Angle 3 is right there. If we break angle 3, we come back to angle 2. If angle 2 holds, we continue higher. If angle 2 fails, we come back to angle 1. Maybe even lower. Basically, that's how that's going to work out. All right, so let's scroll over here. So yeah, nothing to do with Iren. I mean, this one might be one to hold a little more. It might be, and wait till it breaks that angle 3. If it breaks that angle 3 on the daily, then I'd be interested. But look at that volume. It's huge volume. They have a deal. I'm telling you, they have a deal. They've got something coming up. Something is coming up, and it's going to be big. And it's going to go even higher, maybe even double like what it did. Because, I mean, we'll look at Corz here in a second. You'll see what happened. Actually, we'll look at Corz now. We're going to move Corz up. Actually, we're moving Corz up. Corz this week up 40% because CoreWeave said they want to buy them just the other day. They did all this, a lot of this in one day. 33% of this happened just yesterday. Not yesterday, the day before yesterday, Thursday. Happened just on Thursday, and it filled this entire gap there. So that has been amazing. All right, so yeah, this one's doing great. Corz always been on my list. I've always said Corz got a nice look to it after it broke out of this and came to this downtrend. I said, yeah, it's going to eventually come back up again. I've really liked Corz. It's always been really strong. Not always, but I've liked Corz since this break up here around $10. And I've been interested in it again. When it was fresh back here, I wasn't into it because it didn't have enough history, but now it's showing that it's got a lot of strength. So I've been liking it since it showed strength. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. RSI is not overbought yet. BX trend is still showing higher highs. On balance volume. I cannot say that. Those words after each other. Volume is showing green. This could keep going. It could keep going. And look at that volume. The volume was huge by comparison to everything else around it. I don't know why that's not orange. That one should be orange. It should be orange, but it's not. Oh, well. Okay, yeah. Let's take a look at Riot. How did Riot do this week? It was up 10%, up respectable 10%. Yeah, see, why was this one orange? And Corz didn't get any orange or white bars. Whatever, I don't care. Riot, yeah, up a respectable 10%. It's trying to get out of this bull flag right here. It's trying to get out of this bull flag right here, but we saw that right there with a big green candle that came into a tight pullback. So we might see it get back half this way. Like we might see it come back to 984. before it goes any higher. So watch that very carefully. We got the 200-week moving average up at 1155. Riot's going to have to conquer that. Riot and Mara really didn't get a lot of attention this week. It was really clean spark, Iren, and Corz this week. It didn't even take out the highs from that one there. I mean, it tried. The body is above the previous two, so I like that. But I wouldn't be surprised to see this hit the 200-week moving average next week and then crater back down to 98, 96, somewhere around there. 998, 996, somewhere around there, before trying to continue higher for Riot. So this is still looking strong. It still looks strong. BX trend is showing good. RSI is neutral, pointing up. On balance, volume is looking good. Yeah, this is looking good. I'm gonna just start calling OB volume, by the way. It's easier, and see it. Yeah, looking at Riot to potentially make that up move. If it comes down, yeah, around the 950 would be the lowest. I'd be watching this thing. If it goes any lower than that, then I'd say that we're gonna have some trouble with Riot. But of course, we shouldn't be seeing any trouble with any of these in the next couple of weeks. Btdr actually closed down 13% this week, and that was largely due to an offering. They did a 75 million share offering, dilution, if you will, to raise $150 million to buy Ethereum. They want to be the MicroStrategy of Ethereum, so they're issuing shares to purchase Ethereum. Now, if you think Ethereum is going to do well, this shouldn't bother you, and actually this would give you a pretty good opportunity to pick up Btdr on a discount compared to its Ethereum. So with that in mind, this might actually be a really good buy area at $2 for Btdr to purchase it. If you're bullish on Ethereum and you think Ethereum's going to go up, you could see that drive Btdr back up into the 3s, 4s, maybe even back up to the 5s or 6s here before too long. And that would be, what, a 300% return? Not too bad. And if you look here if we look to the left here, really the lowest support is 171. So you're risking about 31 cents-ish, about 31 cents in order to potentially make, $4 or more on top of this thing. Yeah, that's not bad. It's not bad right here. I like this risk to reward. In fact, I might pick some up. Very, very soon on Btdr. If you're in the if you're a level 3 member, you'll get that announcement right away when it happens. Anyways, yeah, BX Trender did print lower this week, so I don't love that. And the volume, the OB volume is looking bad. The RSI is pointing down. My only argument for this on a bull case is that support is down here at 171. That's the lowest level of support. Any lower than that, I would let it go. But I don't think it's going to keep going lower. I think it's going to drive higher from here potentially, especially if Ethereum finally starts to cooperate and moves up. If Ethereum has a nice up move, so will Btdr at this point. All right. They're also spinning off their business White Fiber, their HPC business. They're spinning it off into a second business, a second ticker for White Fiber. So you will see the price of Btdr drop at some point when they spin that off, and you will see new shares in your account for White Fiber when that happens. Let's take a look at Cifr. How's Cifr doing? Cifr was up 12.4% this week. This is a good one. Cifr always has such a good chart. Back here, it was just train tracks up, and we're doing the same thing here, just tighter train tracks up. Cifr always has such a good chart. It's such a textbook chart that Cifr often has. I like it. I like it so much. We're above a lot of things here. Really, Cifr just needs to get above 462, and it is clear to start climbing up into the 7s, maybe even 8s. On the downside, I would be watching 366. If it gets under 366, that is danger. So I would go here and I'd put this line right here. Anything under that line, under 366, and I would be letting this go because it is likely going to drop quickly to $3, maybe even 280 or lower on that. And to the upside, yeah, 462, and then we're coming back for this channel up here, which would be around the $6 some odd dollar range. So 462, we can move up to $6, maybe even $7 after we get above that. So back into that channel, that'd be pretty exciting. And it looks like it wants to do that. All right. And for their warrants, that would be really great for their warrants, because their warrants would find themselves up around 97 cents, or maybe even up as high as $1.50. If we saw Cifr hit $7 again, that'd be pretty exciting. Let's see Corz EW. Oh yeah, I gotta pull these up here. Corz warrants, yeah, those are up 70%. Wow. Not much to say. It's the exact same chart as Corz, honestly. Unlike the other warrants, this one follows it to the T. And then we go Wulf. Let's take a look at Wulf. How's Wulf looking? Wulf was up 12.3% this week, but it is still flagging. It's still inside of this bull flag right here. It hasn't broken out of it yet. It still has to do that. It still has to get out of that. It's got to clear this candle right here. This candle right here. Is there another bigger candle right above it? Yeah, I guess once it clears this candle right here, which is going to be 453, it's got room up to about 448, or 548, where it's going to struggle again because you see this big volume bar right here, and this candle's got to get above that and close above that in order to like have that ability to conquer that area. All right, so that's that. To the downside, if we lose 362, which I'll move this one here, if we lose 362 and obviously this ascending line here, this ascending trend line, if we lose either of those, we're going to be looking at having a real bad time, potentially coming back down to like 296, 297, maybe even lower. For Wulf, let's take a look at Hut. How's Hut doing? Hut up 5.75%. This looks exactly like Wulf. It's got to break this white line right here, which means it's got to get above 18 next week. It's got to get above 1850. If it can get above 1850, it starts to break out of this bull flag here, and it could move as high as off of this bull flag. Let's see. This was the last one. No, we like this one. It can move as high as $29 off of that bull flag, but it will hit resistance here at 21.51 before it gets there. So this is looking like a bull flag. It's also looking like a bit of a cup and handle, which again, same measurement as before, $29. So watch it for that. And to the downside, if we lose 1498, so if we come down under 1498, we're going to fall real hard. I'd have to on a weekly, I'd have to look at daily to get more granular than that. But like 1620 there, yeah, that would give us room to fall down to 14, to that $15 range that I gave a second ago, and then fall back down to 13 below that. And if we break this line here, we can move up to 2150. We tackle 2150, we can move up to 29. RSI looks good. OB volume looks good. BX Trender is making a higher high. This is all looking really good. Hive, how's Hive doing? Hive is, it's flagging, that's for sure. Oh, actually, hold on a second. We've got something of a falling wedge right here. So we've got this, and if I come here and I draw this, that there looks like a falling wedge. I like those, just like this falling wedge back here, and I'll draw it with something easier to see, just like this falling wedge right here that broke to the upside. We'd be looking at this to potentially break to the upside. So watching that falling wedge now. In fact, I'm gonna go down to a 1 day real quick just to have a look. See, just have a look. So I gotta actually adjust that a teeny tiny bit, like something like this and something like that. All right, there we go. Yeah, we do have a bit of a falling wedge. Now we're at the top of it, so we could fall down. If we fell down, whoo, man, we could come down to 152, 148. Pretty easy if we did that. But if we break it to the upside, I'm gonna look at it like a bull flag, because this is very much kind of like a bull flag and a falling wedge built into one kind of. We could find ourselves on Hive trading up about, just off of that alone, $3.07, which is not too bad. A little more than $1 move up from where it currently is. That we would also have a double bottom down here, and that double bottom would have resistance at that same level, about $3. And if we conquer that $3 resistance, we could find ourselves moving as high as about 453 on Hive. So that's pretty exciting. Now, the RSI is bad, so it's low. The RSI is still in bearish territory. You can see we got a bit of a volume gap right where we are. If we can get above 193 up to about $3, that's nice. The BX Trender is making a higher high, but the OB volume is purple, so that means that it is moving to the downside. So we've got mixed signals on Hive right now as it's making that falling wedge. I would wait for it to break out of that, because as you can see in some other areas, we had a falling wedge right here. This was also a falling wedge, and that did not play out well. So wait for those to break. Btdr up 1.68%. I don't know what happened to Btdr, but it really deflated here recently. We had this falling wedge, right? It broke out of it, had a nice breakout, and now it's just falling. It's just failing. It looks like it came down to equilibrium on the volume profile for the weekly. RSI is bad. BX Trender printed a lower low. OB volume is red. Btdr is looking like a failure, honestly. So I'm not even interested in this one right now. This just looks bad. It looks bad. If we go any lower than 1079, well, then we can find ourselves falling all the way to 759. Currently, we must break this line up here. We got to break this line up here. So this thing's got to go up above $13.17 to even feel bullish again. So that's pretty rough. And then after that, it's got to conquer 1632 to actually feel bullish and get into this open volume pit over here all the way up to $19. But if it can't do that, we will fall. We will fall pretty hard, maybe all the way as low as $8. Bitfarms is going to get on the list again for a second. I know I said I probably wasn't going to cover Bitfarms anymore, but I wanted to bring to your attention that Bitfarms did fall further. As I said, it fell down to as low as 70 cents, within 2 to 3 pennies of where I said it would fall to, which is all the way down here. It printed a doji this week, which means it's happy down here. A doji is a is a candle that prints when things are content. BX Trender made a lower high, so that sucks. OB volume's looking good. RSI is about oversold. Okay. Last time RSI got oversold on the weekly, we did pop up to about 120. When this thing starts to break out of here, though, all right, this is the exciting bit. This is the bit you're all here for, right? The exciting bit about Bitfarms. All right, when this starts to break out, this thing will come back up to about 120, right? It'll come back up to about 120. That's going to be a 60% increase from current prices. All right, current prices, 60% increase. All right. Then once we get this double bottom in, well, then we got room up to 171. That's 128%. Okay, 128% there, just to 171. Not too bad, not too shabby. If we get to 171, if we can cross, let me find that big boy volume candle here. 171. Let me find a big one. This candle right here. If we can manage to get 197 and $2 under our belt, we start conquering some of these big volume bars. If that is to happen, and that's a big if right now, we can move up to 219 to hit equilibrium on the volume profile, and then potentially even go up to like 250 again. Now that's going to be a big if. Now we did something similar. We did something pretty similar over here, and we did it in just a 2-week period, right? So we came over here. We had this big downtrend, this big spill, right? We did a little double bottom down here, and then week one, we went up halfway. That'd be our 171. And the week after, we went even higher on this thing. In the third week, we went even higher. In the fourth week, even higher. But we went all the way up to 262 after coming all the way down to under $1. And we did that in 1, 2, 3 weeks. Went all the way back up to 319 in 3 weeks after that. Okay, so I'm not going to 100% count this thing out, but I do want to see a breakout. If I got a breakout like this, and the candle had very little wick on top, I'd probably buy that candle and ride it up for the next week or two. All right, that's what I'd be looking at doing. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description, as well as the channel bio. If you find value in this channel, go ahead and check out the membership. See if that's something that interests you. Maybe you want to sponsor us for a month. Give us a cup of coffee. Well, that's not really a cup of coffee. That's more like 2/3 of a cup of coffee. Or if you want to get real-time trade alerts, you can go up to $24.99 for that stalagmite level. Don't forget to check out Capital Curiosities. They have great financial fraud stories, very interesting, well put together stories. If you find yourself watching one of their videos after this one, go ahead and comment TC on that video for me. I would greatly appreciate that, and have a profitable day.